Donald Trump's war with Iran was over technically, but as of recently at the G7 event, Donald Trump mentioned in an interview that if Iran does not behave, he will be dropping bombs on them again. And basically, he has the Iranian regime in a chokehold, basically. And I'll play the clip of that right now.
If they don't behave, we'll go right back to dropping bombs right smack in the middle of their head. Okay? Because they've misbehaved for 47 years. All right?
Does it include?
But nobody could have made this deal. I mean, the JCPOA done by Obama, he handed him $1.7 billion in cash, gave him hundreds of millions of dollars, gave him billions and billions of dollars, but he gave him $1.7 billion in cash, green cash from banks, into a Boeing 757 and flew it into Iran. And they stood at the plane. I have pictures of it like, oh my God, look at this money he's giving us. He tried to bribe his way out. I didn't do that. Nobody mentions that. $1.7 billion and hundreds of millions of dollars. They tried to bribe their way out of it.
We all know that Donald Trump has a huge ego and a big mouth. And whatever he says, 50 of the time is right and 50 of the time is not true. As we know that he said there will be no wars. And what do we know? There was wars. He also mentioned lots of times that he mentions a lot of future projects as reshaping Washington, D.C., putting his own face on the $250 bill, mentioning that he will be there for 28 and 32 as president, and also mentioning that he could also run for prime minister of Israel, which just makes no sense at all in reality. Also, he is not in good shape at all. We know this. In the past 2 months, 3 months, Donald Trump has been tired. He's been less alert. He's been less there. His answers aren't really clear. We also know that he doesn't eat well. He doesn't drink. He doesn't drink much water. He mostly drinks Coca-Cola, and he mentioned. And he also mentioned in an interview he works out 1 minute a day max, basically joking that he doesn't get any exercise in. And also he doesn't sleep very often. Marco Rubio stated Donald Trump barely sleeps at all, which is a concern, right? He's leading a country, and we need him to be in good shape and good health for him to run the state properly.
And considering that Donald Trump is stressing himself over all these events that he's starting, which keep in mind, Donald Trump is starting these wars. He started tariffs. He started all these global problems. He's just starting everything himself. And then when it comes to actually objectifying the solutions and them, justifying the problems, he just walks away. As you know, he wanted to start the war with Iran to gain power, and it didn't work. Turns out, America lost. Sadly, it sucks, but that's how it is. Donald Trump thought that he was going to get in there, capture everything, take their oil, and it was going to be a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. But no, actually, it was just terrible. Many American soldiers were injured. Millions, if not $1 trillion, was spent for nothing, just to end abruptly within like 3 months span. A few days before the peace deal of a week ago, Iran completely rejected the deal, stating that it was a big cover-up to make Donald Trump and America seem good for Donald Trump's birthday, the UFC 250 event. And there's the World Cup in a month, which is in the span of a month and 2 months technically. So Iran is technically right, saying that Donald Trump is trying to make everything clean and making it look well.
Donald Trump's own team, his own administration is basically leaving him. They don't trust him anymore. And basically, when it comes to a point where they can't take the leader for his word, right? He says he's a man of his word, which clearly we've seen it. He's not really a man of his word. We need a guy who is able to stand up and say what he means and does what he says.
Of course.
Right? That's what a leader is at this point. If I come and say, all right, I'm gonna go reshape Washington, D.C. at the same time that I'm fighting a war, at the same time that I'm gonna put my face on the $250 bill, at the same time that my health is declining, at the same time that the economy is going bad, all of this is happening, and his mind is focused on multiple different tasks at one point, basically, and that's not really good for the country overall. And at some point, America wanted answers, and what Donald Trump was doing, hopping on interviews, raging away, breaking the mic, his health was on a decline. You know, when it comes to a point where you ask someone a question and he starts talking about a different subject, right? He was asked about the war, and he starts talking about his reflecting ballroom, his reflecting pool, and the ballroom, and the drone port, and whatever it is, he was always talking about it. And we know Donald Trump. He showed up to the NBA Finals, for example. He slept. He also showed up to the UFC 250 event. He slept, which he was basically ruling those events.
Yeah.
He shows up there with a political power, political standpoint, and he turns the event into a sleep show at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
He starts sleeping and eating junk food. So
Considering that Donald Trump used to call Joe Biden Sleepy Joe, and just for him to be sleeping at these events, even cabinet meetings, like these are meant to be top-notch professional events that are meant to be actually gatekept by the public to not see. But no, when they actually bring news outlets to these events, like the cabinet meetings, Donald Trump's sleeping in the events. So I can't imagine what's going on behind the doors. Is Donald Trump full-blown sleeping in the Oval Office when he's speaking with, I don't know, other world leaders? Like, what if he met President Putin in Russia and he's just sleeping?
well, yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't make him look powerful at all. And we know Donald Trump. People have been betting on this, right?
Yeah.
People have been betting on this, and people are making money on him sleeping. This is how far it's gone.
Yeah.
It's not just a 1-time, 2-time, maybe a 3-time thing. This is a thing where people are making money on this.
Of course.
So I mean, that's not really a good thing. And also, we know Donald Trump. His latest health exam, which he had probably 2 weeks ago, a week ago.
I think so. 2 weeks.
He had 22 different specialists during that exam, and that's not really a good sign that he's in good health, right? We know that.
Of course.
If you have 22 different specialists for one exam, there must be something going on. And we know Donald Trump, if anything were to go wrong, whether it's his health or the country or the economy or they're getting attacked, they wouldn't mention it.
Of course. You got to keep in mind that even if it was Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, they would, of course, gatekeep all these problems. Of course, it's Donald Trump, but in general, Donald Trump boasts about that he has a 30 on 30 cognitive score, that he's healthier than Barack Obama, Joe Biden, all of these people. Obviously, Donald Trump just loves to make him look perfect in the public eye, but stating about Trump's health, of course, it's not going well. He's starting all these problems. He's not sleeping well. He's eating shit food, as you can say, and he's not helping himself at all.
And we need a leader who's honest and responsible. We don't want someone saying that he's in perfect health, bragging about it. Instead, we should have a leader saying, all right, I'm going to be honest. I'm not in great shape, right? I've been tired. I've been sleeping, resting my eyes, whatever it is. And I'm going to put myself in health. I'm going to put myself back in shape. I have these wonderful people around me. I have RFK, who knows about health. I'm rich. It's not like he doesn't have the money, right? He's tall. He has children. He has a family. He's a leader. He should be honest. He said, all right, I'm not in good shape, right? I'm going to start getting in shape so I can get better ideas, less brain fog, a clearer mind, so that he can think better, act better, and be more responsible.
Maybe if he was healthier, he wouldn't be walking off interviews and having these rage posts on True Social in the middle of the night, considering a few months ago, Donald Trump was up at 3 a.m. putting 100 True Social posts in the span of an hour at 3 a.m., which is not even normal. What normal person even does that? Like, I can guarantee you the Secret Service members or his administration team are like wondering, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, what is he thinking in his head for him to be talking about all this slander about Barack Obama putting him in prison, as we know he wants to put him in prison? A few days ago, Michelle Obama clashed back at Donald Trump, saying that he was a piece of shit, which technically he is. And he's just not making himself look well in public.
He needs a wake-up call at this point. He needs a wake-up call, whether it's for his health or his ideas or for his clear thinking, right? We know this. Even like 2 days ago, he was in charge of the UFC 250 event. And then some UFC fighter comes on and says that Michelle Obama is a man, right? That alone, that just creates conflict right now. Barack Obama and Michelle Obama are involved. It's just every day it's creating new distractions. We need less distractions and a clearer country so that we can actually think better and act better as a team, rather than his own administration leaving him and not trusting him.
Because you got to keep in mind that Donald Trump has 2 years left for his term, and he's making it seem like he's going to be there for generations. Him trying to put his face on the Peace Prize and him even wanting a Nobel Peace Prize, which is ridiculous. He started a war with Iran, he lost, and now he wants a Peace Prize. How does one even get a prize for losing? Be real. When you're in charge of America and you're starting these wars left, right, and center, don't be expecting a free medal. Like, be real. Americans were risking their lives just for Donald Trump. For him to gain power, saying that America is the best place ever. First of all, Donald Trump is acting like if United States is the best place on earth, which clearly, as of now, it isn't. He's trying to get all this oil, all this power. But you got to keep in mind, if the United States had all the power, then technically that means the United States would own everything else in the world.
Yeah.
When it clearly isn't. China is beating them basically anything in car-wise. All the electric cars are better. Technology, they're surpassing them. The United States is far behind of everything. They're just abusing power left, front, and center.
Like we mentioned in previous videos, we mentioned that there should be some sort of a veteran month, right?
Yes.
A month where we honor fallen and deceased, passed away soldiers that fought for the country or still alive. We need a month like this because we have the Pride Month, we have Black History Month, we have all these months that are useless.
Yeah, and
they're useless. No, they're useless. What has the Pride Month done anything for the USA?
Sad to say, but none.
The soldiers that have fought and died for the country, they should have a month and they should have a voice, right?
Yeah.
They should be the wake up call.
Yep.
But we fought for this country years ago.
Of course, considering that these people went to wars trying to save America and make freedom for America,
And they had no chance.
and they only have one day, ceremonial day, if I'm not wrong.
And they had no chance back in the day.
Yeah.
It was 18 years old. We're taking you, yes or no. You're coming with us at a young age.
Yeah.
They had no chance to say. They had no decision, and it's pretty sad. And we should have a month for this. Let us know if you agree down in the comments if you made it this far. And this has been T and Matt on the Berube Show. If you made it this far, please make sure you hit that like and you subscribe to the channel. Helps us out a lot. Make sure you also turn on the notification bell as we upload daily long form, short form videos, informing you guys about the news in America, the war, the economy, whatever it is. We're informing you guys on it. We're on every platform. Check us out. If you made it this far, T and Matt on the Berube Show, thank you for watching. Stay safe out there wherever you are.